Hello and welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera. So we gotta find a home for Ren, and also we gotta find a way to deal with stickers. Either we report him to this jackass over here, Lord Vunken, or perhaps we let him escape. Sadly, we couldn't regain the memory to talk to it, but that's okay. Because we now have this option to deal with it. Dear shreds, tendons bending. Okay, let's just go into the bar. We still need to explore a lot, and we need to go to the government square. Oh. Clarion? Oh. Oh? As a interesting little insight, like just information, there is a bar in Planescape Torment with a name called O in it. Clarion, let's talk. Looks like a lot of people who can talk with. Also, my intelligence points are running low, so we might just have to be careful here. At least if I wanna persuade people. This young woman wears a finely polished armor and paces back and forth restlessly on the walkway. Her long hair is lustrous and healthy, and her whole form exudes a wholesome vitality. When she sees you, she raises her voice in greeting. Welcome, friend, to the Fifth Eye. She strides closer to speak more softly. You've come an exciting time. I've been trying to convince some veteran warriors of their eminent suitability to join the endless battle. So far they've rebuffed me, but perhaps you can succeed where I failed. The endless battle? Well, I can't speak more softly. Tell me about yourself. I'm Clarion. I seek strong warriors, brave souls to fight in the endless battle, to hold back the advance of the enemy. Can you tell me about your... No. What can you tell me about the endless battle? Much as it sounds, it stemmed from a rift between the changing god and one of its offspring, and has endured for hundreds of years, ranging over the same battlefields using the deadliest technology of the ancients. The landscape is scarred and pitted beyond recognition. The walls between dimensions are thinned there. Every day, horrors cross into our world. She stands, arms akimbo. Worse, in recent years, the struggle has expanded. Nearby settlements founded to provide material support for the combatants were existing there long before the two sides came to rage on their borders have been engulfed by the spreading chaos. He frowns. It's not too late to change the course of the battle. If only warriors of proven mettle would join the fight. That is why I'm here. That is why I beg for your help. Scanning her thoughts. A glorious conflict. So many have grown stronger in its wake. I have only one question. Why aren't you there? You know? What else do you know about the endless battle? It's not truly endless, of course, but it has raged for hundreds of years. Imagine the wonders you see around you, the discarded pieces of the ancients' lives. Now imagine all their power bent toward destruction. Imagine what that would do to the land. It's a force, it's a disaster that creates heroes. What side are you recruiting for? Does it even matter? Changing gods. He has always been a patron of Sagus Cliffs. Perhaps we would not exist if not for his lives and his cast-offs. Certainly we would not be as we are. He pauses. But that is not the only reason. The changing god forces have allied with the towns and villages of the Graxulian Waste. We seek to prevent the endless battle from expanding beyond its borders, growing in size and once again. The enemy attempted to sweep across the plain before. They They tricked the changing gods' allies centuries ago, destroyed an army of sent knights, and took half the settlements in the waste. We won't let them do it again. Who is the enemy you're fighting? The armies of the first cast-off. They have never been friends to the people of Savage Cliffs. She frowns. The first cast-off is long dead, but still her forces hold a grudge against her sire and his patron city. If I help you, will I get a reward? Reward of death? Of course, I'm not a wealthy woman, but I have allies in the city who are... The more veterans you convince to join the battle, the more you will be paid. Can you tell me anything about these veterans you hope to recruit? They have fought in countless battles and emerged victorious. They have made decisive forays that turned entire wars. They are clever and thoughtful, though I only know their reputation. The third inversion, for instance, saw them reach into a new dimension, and I won't bore you with the details, but they were integral in an offensive that would have changed the course of that conflict. Can you tell me any more about these veterans? She frowns. They have kept their abilities largely secret from me. I have not seen them in action, but the stories tell of 5 companions who turned the course of wars. Why are you trying to recruit these veterans? Perhaps they are tired of war. She shakes her head. Conflict shapes us all. It sharpens us, makes us stronger than we ever thought we could be. If you hide from it, you will never know what you might have become. Or worse, you'll be easy prey for those who are stronger or crueler than you. She clutches your shoulders. These veterans have grown tired and complacent. I want to help them recapture what they lost. No, I want to make them even greater than they were. Even if they become prey, it will make whoever hunts them very strong. Wow. I would not help you recruit these veterans. I will refuse to help you fuel the war. No. Always a pleasure. Yeah, I will not help you. Your eyes cannot focus on this person. Whether male or female, you cannot say, but it hums with a force that both attracts and repels you. You feel a sense of amusement as it settles upon you. You speak with awe, it says. You have tasted the truth in the form of machine lubricant. You have contemplated the totality of human existence. Speak quickly and true. The world slows around you. The being has no mind to speak of. Where there should be thoughts, you instead sense only a deep, endless hole threatening to swallow your own mind. Who are you? I am O. You might call me an ultra-terrestrial, though I'm far more. I am from beyond space, beyond time. Above your comprehension, your mind has chosen this form for me. I am content to exist in this structure, but know that I exist also outside your subjective experience. Some might describe me as superpositional extraction of fundamental, universal laws made tangible. It gestures languidly, and you understand it perfectly. I am a word made flesh, a letter, at least. A concept covered in a false skin, infinitely malleable, essentially unknowable. What does it mean to be a word? I was, am, will be. I see into the infinite past, into the illimitable future. When the cosmos erupted into a sea of light, I saw it. When the mechanism winds to a sad and creaking end, I will weep it. At the moment, the great wings of death enclose creation. I am the last vestige of dust, frozen, forever perfected. What are you doing here? I am here to see the final attempt at entry by the adversaries. I am here to offer a vision to Leto. Did you say this was the final attempt at entry by the adversaries? The adversaries, though, thought to peel through realities to devour this world as they have others. They have never lost. This world is their first taste of defeat. Within themselves, the eating cores of their victims began to stir. The adversaries will cease to exist in any meaningful form within a millennium if they are stopped here. This is an inflection point. If the warriors here succeed, the adversaries do not rise again for an eon, so it is written. Where did you come from? You would not understand. Let me show you. Its eyes widen, expanding to fill the room, your vision, your consciousness, and you tumble into a starry immensity. Swirls of nebulae twist and knot, and in the parts of the stellar clusters roar hungry vortices. You tumble helplessly into a myriad of them at once, torn apart and reformed in an instant. A being of pure light and will. Wow, took some damage. You find yourself standing in the fifth eye again. Your nose is running, and the tears streak your chest. You wipe them away humbly, and you realize your hand is streaked with blood. So I took 1 damage, temporary, and I got smarter by 1. That's awesome. Too much information, too much knowledge. Had I shown you more, the energies that bind you together would have failed. You said you had come to offer a vision to Leto. She's prescient. She is the mother of empires. The adversary's presence has polluted her vision, and she has strayed from the page. I'm here to reunite her with the truth. I do not intervene, but this story was true, and so it is true. And so this is not an intervention. This vision will come when you have left the city. Alright. A moment. None here will know of our conversation. None will know its nature. None see me, nor will they recognize any sign of me. Even in this remarkable place, they cannot know. But I give you a gift, cast off, and God and man. For yours is a true story. It is welcomed into the world. It was born from desire and will end in... But no, I do not tell you your fortune. Life envelops you, and when you open your eyes, all is gone. Last cast of permanent gain 4 health. Handy.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way?
Alright. Nice name, JSK. By the way, if any one of you didn't play Planescape Torment and definitely thinking of trying it out, you should definitely try it out, especially if you like this game. The most distinguishing feature of this tall, vaguely awkward man is the yellow shirt he wears. He seems desperate to fade back into the scenery. When he sees you notice him, he gives you a faint, uncomfortable grin. Something about him seems off, as if he were a flicker in the air, or strangely two-dimensional. He does not seem to emit a sense of presence at all. Who are you? Aaron, called JSK, he almost whispers. I'm not here. What can you tell me about yourself? This is like a dream to me. Can you tell me more about yourself? No, this is like a dream to me. Can you tell me anything about the people here? He shakes his head, as if terrified to meet your gaze. Let's try again. Can you tell me... I don't know. What can you tell me about this place? Nothing. Why can't I sense you? Skist, he mutters. Whoa! The yellow shirt fades away, and then the skin, muscle, and bone, what remains is vaguely humanoid shimmer. I am JSK, Aaron. Transdimensional projection from a distant past. These abacus form, this is not true of me, trapped in this body, but I am not this. What's an abacus? A ghost. Transdimensional. It feeds. I only watch. Watch and learn. Where are you from? Distant past, epochs ago. Tuning, through time. To see future, overshoot. Shrugs vaguely. Maybe next visit. Can you affect this reality? Only words. The ghostly hand that passes through you. Nothing touches, only ideas, no physical energy conveyed. How did you get this place in particular? Get to this place in particular? When casting, through time, saw light drawn to civilized thought, admiring physics. Okay, farewell. Farewell, JSK. A lot of interesting people in this tavern. Alma's the soulkeeper. Ghostly woman. Alright. For a moment you are not entirely sure if you look upon a construct or a human. The plastic sheen of this pale man's skin suggests artificiality, but if he is a construct, he is so cunningly constructed, so close to the human baseline that the illusion is nearly perfect. Except his head is a trifle too large, his eyes black buttons. Then you realize the truth. He's a visitant. His home many millions of miles distant. Amos, my name. Amos, my name. What can you tell me about yourself? He lifts his great head slowly and fixes you with a dolorous gaze. I'm Amos. I'm the keeper of souls. Last of my kind. Only survivor of a civilization that spanned time and space. Now they're gone. The stars black. Reality. Winds carry me. He turns his head back toward his drink. What happened to your people? The tightest case to power. Controlled the minds, ideas for all souls of empire. Great web we wove, shining with power, but other nodes, they winked away, until only I remained. His fingers drum on the tabletop. An image of my people I carry, but no place to make it real. Our domain lost, I alone, am paralyzed with indecision and fear. Did I destroy them? I was not discontented, or was I? How did you get here? He looks around. Not my time, not my place. Yet, man, the connection is to home broke. A beacon shone here. 5 minds drew me, a light in the darkness. They were not a light to understand. They were safety, surety, while a new home I find. In this place I have clear thought, untarnished. How did your civilization die? A doubt arose. It took seed, took flight. These thoughts connected to our network. These questions spread like disease. Trust, mistrust, rooted, nodes decohered. Without nodes, without control of dreams, civilization falls, and then they're gone. I alone remain. What was the doubt that destroyed your civilization? I do not know. I do not recall. I know I recall. Well, tell me about the doubt that destroyed your civilization. I know you know. I do. Yeah, it was my doubt. Mine. My question. I ask only, what if our way is not the best? What if our people have desires of their own? Wants that we do not give? He places a single hand across his eyes and then slowly slides it away. The others began to see, and question gave way to self-doubt. Self-doubt gave way to self-hate. I want only to know, what is best? How do we become better? Not to tear us down, but as shown a bright light on behavior. on truth. But our center could not hold under truth. His vet terrified eyes fixed on yours. Was I to blame? Is civilization end fixed on me? In dreams I see their faces, but not their minds. Tell me truly, is the fault mine? I think you were blameless in this. Tidal Surge requires trained tidal affinity skill. Raised out. Well, that would be nice to have. Yes, you planted the seed, you bear the blame. Are you sure they are gone? What if they saw your doubt and they just cut you away? Cast you aside. I think you were blameless in this. He shakes his head. You seek to console, I do not believe. I'm not trying to console you. Your doubt couldn't have taken root if they hadn't already harbored their own doubts. That's very smart. Perhaps this is true, but what good are we if we share the same doubts? Better for us to find a new way, a new world. He pulls his hands apart and you have the sense of a vast network of power contained between them. He raises his hands before his face. And then he crumples his fists. The energy vanishes. I've severed the last connection, the last hope. If they still exist, they must exist without me. Let me be forgotten. No more, he whispers. No more. He drops his head and weeps. Sorry, man. No small talk in this tavern. Transdimensional beings? Check. Like, last of his kind? Check. Ghostly woman? Are you okay? You draw closer, but the wispy form of the woman in the booth does not clarify. You can hardly discern the details of her ghostly face, and you hear a chorus of whispering female voices that swarm around her like chance moths. Study her face more carefully. You peer more closely at her, and she takes no notice of you. Her features are those of a teenage woman, leaving childhood behind. Anamnesis. Your memory sparks faintly. These clothes look familiar to you. Wait, they are familiar because they were the fashion in Sagas Cliffs 9 centuries ago, and your mind has dredged that association from its depths. Listen to the whispers. They brush against your mind just below the level of conscious thought. You hear them, but not with your ears. You can only make out snatches of the whispers in your mind. You killed me, created me, never wanted to die. Who are you? She has been ignoring you, but without transitional state, her face is suddenly and furiously focused on you and yours. Another flicker and her hands wrap around your throat. Ghost or not, her fingers are very real, and they are choking the life out of you. Let the ghost strangle you. No, try to escape. With might. Wow, can I just use someone else's might to do it? Someone else? Stronger? Do it! Save me! Save me! Can you do it? 90% just to save me. Do it! You manage to wrest her fingers from your throat and you hurl her away. You come up in a crouch, ready for another attack, but she is looking away from you as if nothing had happened. Okay. I'll leave her alone. Fine. Maybe we need to find something else. Or maybe we need to let her strangle us,
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
Yeah, that sounds great. They're pretty smart for a kid.
Finally.
Oh,
something
Leto?
to do.
Leto? And though this woman's face is young, she has been beaten hard by the sun. She wears a tight fitting skin suit under loose desert robes. Her eyes are deep and unsettling black, with no white to be seen. Occasional streaks of light race across them, flashing in the shadows of her hood like stars plummeting from the sky. I'm Leto, she says. I saw your coming. Now you're here. Leto's mind is inscrutable. Your thoughts reflect back at you from 1,000 angles, like shining a light onto a mirrored ball. What can you tell me about yourself? A being named O is here to give you a vision. It says you will be the mother of empires. Yeah, O definitely talked about you. What can you tell me about yourself? To the northeast, in the middle of the Lost Sea, there is a small town called Jerboa, dwarfed by the magnificence of the oasis of Mirajolius. Jerboa is a poor town, dependent on the charity of its neighbor. She nods to the bartender and he refills her drink, floating a bottle through the air without touching it. I was born in the slums. The Gibra, resident of the city, would sometimes tour our ghetto. One of them saw my eyes and declared me touched by the god, Nicole. They taught me the deep secrets of their church and showed me how to comprehend the tapestry in my mind. But one day I saw light flare in Sagus Cliffs. Though the city and mine suffer hostilities, I knew that I must brave those dangers, for I saw the darkening storm. She grips your sleeve. I see the futures. I will not be able to return home, but I arrived in time to aid Dama in his struggle against the adversaries. For a time, I was able to read the strands to help our team prepare against the adversaries' attacks, but they learned to cloak themselves against me, and all I could see of their intent was a generalized darkness. I am of little use against the adversaries now, but I'm to remain against other foes. What can you tell me about the people here? I know the stories of my comrades in arms, their past and their future. I have a deep bond with Ziob, friendship with Taboros. My respect for Dama knows no limit, and I have fond recollections of Firiok's Redivit. She shakes her head. I wish I could travel the skein of perception and live the present, so and as do so many others. But it is not to be, and so I scramble across the web of time and know the threads of my friends. Can you tell me any stories about your friends? Of whom did you want to speak to? Of whom did you want to speak? Okay. Tell me about Dama. He's the lodestone, the hourglass, the light that lifts and the rope that binds. His strength is our strength, and through him we come stronger. He's the caller, the bringer, the tactician, and the strategist. He brings us this place, and in the future he's gone. He does not see you as she speaks. The unseen adversary claims him, unless... no, the probabilities are too low. She shakes her head, bringing herself back to the present. Is he still here? He slashes a glance toward the man in a blue shirt and breathes a sigh of relief. Blue shirt guy? Of whom did you want to speak? How about Firiok? A seer of pain and love. A green light. His power is speech and interaction. An empath, a viewer of hope and reconciliation. The story I love most is this. An angry citizen comes, threatening violence, and Firiok eats his pain and makes a new man in his place. In those old strands, Firiok is my friend. And you're mine too, Leto. Oh, really? So Firiok is the bartender. Barkeep. Of whom did you want to speak? Tell me about Ziob. She gives herself too little credit. During the Kobold breach, she erects shields around her company and fires precise bolts of telekinetic rage into the attackers. She destroys their inhuman captain, hurling him from the walls into dark space, and then dismembers the attackers who have come for me. In that day, she is my hero. She is the only one of us who can touch the physical world so completely. And when Dama dies, she stands to unite us. No, wait, this isn't real. No, not yet. She slaps herself lightly and mutters, "Walk in this world, Lalo. This world alone. Whom did you want to speak? Tell me about Tiboros." He follows the trail of the world of Kura. He finds the dead village. In his mind, he seals the worlds, and they chew him to pieces until his brain has lost their knowledge altogether. She looks across the bar to the old man. No, this is a past possibility. This is not this reality. His mind is still intact. His stories still resonate. Is this the world in which he buries the last of the words of Kura? He shrugs. But he is the man who helps plan our battlefields. He shapes our expectation. It is he who brings the first adversary low. It shows him a story, and he tells it a better one. It bows to his vision before it knows his strength, and he traps it. He is a hero to this reality, although he's not. He knows it not. He shakes her head. I have spoken of all stories I will tell. Okay, can you tell me more stories about your colleagues? I've spoken all stories. Okay, fine. What can you tell me about the adversaries? She spits on the ground. I waste water speaking of them. I do not know what they are, but I know what they represent. They are the death of possibility, an existential threat to humanity. They sweep minds into themselves, consume individuality, and worship power. They have learned to counter mine. I am helpless against them. A being named O is here and give you a vision. It says you will be the mother of empires. She stares at you, her mouth opening slightly, her eyes flicker across the bar, landing on no one in particular. I have not yet received the vision, and mother, me, she shakes her head. I am barren. I will give no life. He pauses. Her hands are shaking. She whispers, I see only a stain when I look at myself, nothing more. Miasma occludes my vision of myself. How did you know I'll be coming here? Skeins of lives weave together in a tapestry. Your thread glows. It emerges from the sky, and a great darkness follows in your wake. She waves her hand, as if pushing through the cobwebs. I've seen you. Where you go, this is beyond my powers. Can you tell me anything about the people I travel with? Ask and I will tell. How about Rin? She takes Rin's hands in hers. Child, the future is uncertain. The one you travel with is a decisive force in your life, though it remains to be seen whether this force is good or for ill. I cannot advise you, for your future is in flux. You must make the choice yourself. What about Eretis? Yeah, tell me about me. She frowns at him and pokes a finger at the golden glow that surrounds him. He snatches her finger back as if burned. His future is bright, but short. After a long moment, he bursts out. What's that, Ed? I expected to hear something about fighting Xarax or leaping heroically onto a flying vehicle and wresting the controls from its savage pilot. I do like to fly, you know. I'm a very good pilot. That's the kind of thing I wanted to hear about. The faintest touch of sad frown at the corner of her mouth is her only response. Tell me about Eligern. She turns her unsettling gaze on the man. Your regrets will destroy you. You carry your pain and your salvation, but you don't look closely enough to recognize the truth. Open yourself, hold your scars tight, and you might emerge whole at the end of your ordeals. Gross. Typical soothsayer platitude. Tell me what I need to know. Don't tell me anything. The future's light is not reducible to simple words. Not everything conforms to the science of you treasure, priest. I have told you what you need to know. It is up to you to seize its truth, or let it fall to the ground unheeded. Okay, never mind then. So Firiak? Can we talk to you? The bartender is tall, powerfully built man with a nut brown skin and a bushy beard. He radiates strength and confidence. He moves with speed when necessary and remains almost motionless the rest of the time, like a predator waiting to leap. Yet even when he prepares a drink, he doesn't touch a thing. His brow furrows slightly and the bottles and glasses lift by themselves. When he sees you, he smiles broadly. Welcome to the Fifth Eye, friend. I'm Firiak. Firiak's mind is careful blank. You can't read anything from him. Can you tell me about this place? The Fifth Eye is a bar for physics. At least, it is now. In the prior words, as we can tell, it was an old pumping station. All these pipes lead down to some reservoirs deep beneath the city, and they pump whatever is in the reservoirs up here. Anyway, some damn fool started drinking from the pipes, and some other fool started it too. Some of them died, but some got drunk as hell. After a few whiles, big enough of you, they got pretty good at figuring out which were safe and which weren't. And that's when they figured out they start making money of the place. Reasons physics flock here is because the building dampens out the physic noise of the city. Grins. The drinks help too. Firiak means to say that he is only involved in the delivery of these drinks, rather than their creation. Given his skills, this is only right and proper. He throws a hand across his forehead. I have been maligned by this desert-dwelling interloper. You said this bar is for... This is a bar for physics. What does that mean? It means that this is a place where physics can unwind, get away from the city, get away from the noise. You know what it's like to be a psychic? Let me paint a picture. Imagine every time you're going to sleep, someone comes and starts screaming in your ear. Or objects in the room start whispering about how they want to burn. Or they might tell you their secret names and how to make them float and dance at your command. Maybe every person you meet is like a house with all its doors and windows thrown open. And you can't help but look in to plunder their secrets. And underneath it all, you hear their silent judgments, the truths they hide even from themselves. He pauses to concentrate on a floating cloth as it wipes a mug clean. Then the mug places itself on a rack. Folks think that it's a blessing to have these powers, and sometimes it really is, especially when you can join your friends to make something great, but, he shrugs, it can be hard, hateful, and you can never tell when you're going over the edge of insanity. I like a drink. You're in for a treat, friend, real treat, assuming you call the possibility of toxic reaction a treat, of course. Points at the various pipes on the wall. We've positively identified some of these are safe. Smaller subset here are inebriants of hallucinogens. We've got a few that are, well, chancy, as in sometimes they kill people. Cost for a safe drink is Frisians. Experimental ones, those are 10. No, actually, that's all for now. I'm good. That's great. Okay. Sir Arthur? Sir Arthur?
Yes.
Whoa! Oh, look at that! These are the ones that woman talked about. Should I talk with them right now? The Boros? Nice hat. This man's mind is sealed off from you. It's like trying to read the thoughts of a book that's been glued shut. The man is old and strong, his face lined with years of brutal experience. His face is aquiline, his nose sharp. He wears a broad-brimmed hat, and his voice is low, rasp. I'm the Boros, he says. Tell me your story. Make it a good one. I was born, whoa. I was born falling from the sky, and now I'm trying to repair a chamber that will stop a nightmare. That just sounds so ridiculous that might as well just say that. He watches you intently as you speak, and when you finish, he nods sharply. You're telling the truth. A lot of people embellish, or they lie outright, try to pretend they are more than they are, so people will remember them as giants. More often than not, they just end up looking ridiculous. He pats you on the shoulder. You're giving me a rare treat, thanks. So, what do you want? Can help you with your chamber, but maybe there's something else. That's true, I mean, a lot of people feel the desire to embellish their achievements, or just put a good spin on it. Partly because positivity is quite important. And I just want to seem better. I get it, but you know. Yeah. I tell you the truth because it's just so ridiculous. What can you tell me about the adversaries? His eyes narrow and he leans in close. I don't want to talk about them. It's important to understand that they are not unbeatable. That they are not immortal. They're tough, hells yes, but they can be stopped. He leans back. That said, where are they? You've heard of spirits? Beings of pure thought. That's what they are. Except that they are more like living hate. Like every nightmare of fear that you can't escape. Vortex of despair. That's why we fight, because they're poison. Can you tell me about yourself? I'm the brains of this operation. He gestures with a lazy hand around the table. Without me, they will lose the thread of their thoughts and spend all their time wandering in dreams. We're just trying to get away from your nagging, tips his friend a wink. It's nagging that sharpens my word, Dama. Though I admit that my words are probably getting duller every second I spend talking to you. Turns back to you. Let's call me a warrior of language. Words are my weapons and my treasures. They might be pretty sounds to you, but to me, they are the tools that pry open your imagination and leave you vulnerable to my friends here. I'll build pictures, set the scenes, and create mazes in your mind. He takes a careful sip of his drink. I'm also the last person in the world to know the lost words of Kura. He closes his eyes tightly, and when he opens them again, you see worms of light dancing in his eyes. They're gone again, with his next blink. They are weaponized meme. A thought that sticks in your head. A tune that you can't get rid of. Saying that echoes in your mind. Until it drives you mad and melts your brain. She lays a hand on his arm. You don't have to talk about this, Cerberus. He turns to you. It's eating away at him. He has it compartmentalized, but he says that he can feel it burning away at his mind. I feel the power in you. Can you help him? Me? I'm suddenly talking with you? What can you tell me about the words of Kura? Face grows more somber, if that's possible. Those words were the ruin of an ancient civilization. I had this story from a dying Nevayin before I wrestled the last word from its mind. It goes like this. The scholarks of that age had found the deep truths about the world, and they stumbled across these words. They wore the knowledge down and sealed the words away with the strongest warning they could find. And then they killed themselves so that they wouldn't infect their kind. Wow. The problem was, they didn't count on their writings sticking through the ages. Some skits-brained fool ignored the warnings on the bindings, read the words and spilled them out into the civilization that had grown up in that spot over the millennia. 8 rulers of Kura, 8 words, and a continent-spanning empires fell. People bleeding from their eyes with hatred in their hearts. Survivors tried the scholar who'd released the words, buried him alive, buried him in stone. The words were lost again. Navayan, a hero, found the imprisoned scholar. It tried to wipe away the knowledge he'd spoken and removed him from the world. Had the Nevayin stuck there, it would have seen the dust itself rewriting the words of Kura on the floor in the wind. It would have seen the dust itself rewriting the words of Kura on the floor in the wind. He bows his head, but it was too late. The words had infested his mind. It found the words. I burned them from the world, trapped them in a maze in my mind, and they are near the exit. What are you going to do about the weaponized meme that's burning your mind? Well, I couldn't always kill myself. Honestly, I don't think anyone else could carry it, and the alternatives are too horrific to bear. He tilts his glass toward them. I love my colleagues here, but can they handle the words of Kura? I don't think so. Right now, I've got them locked into a mental construct no one has even the slightest idea how to build. I do have a space in my mind, and I can contain the words of Kura there. Oh, that's interesting. Let's go for that. He leans back and crosses his arms. Really? And how is this? Is that you're a better custodian for the words of Kura than I am? I'm more than strong enough. Use your psychic ability to read me. Well, beats killing himself. Let's go for the 60%. That's the best I can do. My persuasion is not the best. Oh. It worked. Focus on you and you feel something like the skittering of spiders across your mind. They plunge inside and suddenly you sense his presence in the labyrinth and you can feel his mind recoil. He snaps his eyes back to yours. Yeah, I think you'd be an excellent vessel. Do not use the word. Keep it contained, you hear me? He leans forward and whispers the word into your ear. It is a beautiful word, and you feel your tongue curling to shape it aloud. Though Boris claps his hand across your mouth, his eyes tight on yours, and with his mind he drags the knowledge of the word into the labyrinth, into a disused corner, and he steals it with an image of steel, glass, and dark infinities of space. He leans back, panting. Yobi? Yes? I need a piece of my mind cauterized here. He touches his hands to her temples, and she to his, and they lean forward, their foreheads touching. You see a flare of light, and he cries out in pain, but he doesn't let go. When they release their hold on each other, you see a small, choking hole in his forehead. I couldn't take the chance it would leave a trace of itself in there, says. It's gone from me. It's your responsibility now. Okay. What can you tell me about this place? We have the words of Kura. As Dama, as Leto, as Ziob or Firiok. I just drink here. Can you tell me any stories about the others in this bar? I can, but I won't. Talk to them yourself. They all have a piece of wisdom that they carry them in themselves. I won't dishonor them by telling their stories for them. He scratches under the brim of his hat. I can eulogize them, but every story would start like, he's a warrior, selfless and self-absorbed, knowing about themselves so they can help the world. But they are all more than that. So if you can get them from a different perspective than me. Okay, thanks for that. I don't know if thanks for that. We have the words of Kura. You should thank me for that. Anyway, I believe this is a good time to take a break. So hope you guys had fun. Tell me if you did, and see you around. And have a good one.